The South Carolina Department of Education requires that all students in public schools in grades K through 12 receive a report card at least 4 times per year. Our district has set up the use of PowerSchool Gradebook to populate the information in these report cards. This is an example of what a report card will look like for students in grades 3 through 12 in Charleston County. This report card will look the same for all students in these grades, regardless of if they are general education students or special education students in low incidence classrooms. Please note that this document looks different than the progress reports that you are required to send out for students with IEPs. These progress reports report on specific goals that each student's IEP team has written for that student to work on during 1-year intervals. The report cards show grades students have earned in certain courses that they are given each year of their 3 through 12 grading experience. Both of these documents will be given to students every 9 weeks, and both report cards and progress reports will be given out every 4.5 weeks during progress reports. So when we're talking about report cards, the expectation is both for when they are given, what documents to use to give them, and what information is included on them, or the grading of these report cards. Department of Exceptional Children expectations are that these report cards are used for students in LI classes in grades 3 through 12 for interim report cards and the quarterly report cards. This means that every time you are sending home a progress report from an IEP, you are also sending home a report card that looks like this document. Because we know that students in low incidence classrooms are working on different standards or with modified curriculum, DEC has also stated that there is a standard comment that should be included on all report cards for every progress report and report card that is given to students. This comment is listed on the page and can be copied from this page and other pages you'll see in this presentation to be put directly on student report cards. Even though there might not be SE Alt standards for every subject and for every grade level for 3 through 12 low incidence students, this report card comment should be put on every low incidence student's report card in grades 3 through 12 to indicate that they are working on standards and work that is not grade level based. Along with a standardized comment, all parents of students in low incidence classrooms in grades 3 through 12 should be sent home the LI report card parent brochure. This brochure can be sent home with every progress report and every report card. It can be given to parents at data meetings or conferences, and especially can also be given at IEP annual reviews. This parent brochure goes over why parents are getting report cards, what standards are being used for these low incidence report cards, and the grading scale used for these. We will go over in detail this grading scale, but please be aware that this parent brochure should be used only for students in grades 3 through 12 for their report cards, as their grading process is different than students in grades K through 2. So along with expectations on when students receive report cards and comments that should be given on report cards, there are also expectations for grading of low incidence report cards for grades 3 through 12. In grades 3 through 12, for your ELA and math courses, It is required from DEC that you use district-provided rubrics to give grades for students in report cards based on ULS checkpoints. Those ULS checkpoints use a pre and post, and those ELA and math grades should be entered into PowerTeacher gradebooks. You notice there is a lot more detail on this page regarding when to enter assignments and how often. We will go over that in detail in another section of this training, but for the moment, be aware that as an LI teacher for grades 3 through 12, your student should receive grades in ELA and math based on the ULS checkpoints. For science and social studies, your students will also receive grades using a district-provided rubric. These grades in science and social studies, however, will be based on assignments. This is because there are no ULS checkpoints for science and social studies. Again, we will go into detail on the grading details for these science and social studies assignments in a different section of this course, but be aware that for your low incidence students in grades 3 through 12, all students will receive a ELA, math, science, and social studies grade on every progress report and report card. All care has been taken by the DEC team and others who assisted with developing these rubrics to make sure that the information on these report cards is meaningful and shares information about student progress. We know that sometimes documents given to low incidence students that are required can sometimes feel like they are just checking off a box or seem to be a lot of low scores for students that we know are working on alternate work. DEC and the team that developed these report cards have taken great care to provide rubrics that should allow for meaningful information to be given on report cards that shows their progress in these core courses.